You start? How do you do this? Do you jump in asking them immediately to do something for you? Or you do it yourself first? Then you do it and they watch. Then they do it, you watch, and they do it on their own. Do you get it? That's what it is. That's the formula, guys. Welcome to a new episode of the Eckert podcast. In today's episode, we're going to be discussing a great formula really for business, formula to teach someone something. It's a formula that you can apply to anything and everything in life. So for those of you who are here for the first time, thank you guys for showing up today. I am Eva Eckert. I'm host of the show. I'm Polish immigrant with a big heart, a strong accent, kick-ass husband, and 2 beautiful kids. I inspire women around the world to take bold actions towards their passions, dreams, and desires so their life become more meaningful and fulfilled. I believe that the badass superhero of your unique purpose is inside all of you, all of us, and we should share it with the world to make this world a better place. This show will help you finally discover the power of self-belief, self-motivation, so you can stop making the excuses and create the life you truly desire and deserve to have, and help you to create the upgraded version of you. Guys, so welcome to the show. In the previous episode, I've been starting the show with really diving deep into gratitude, but in today's, the upcoming episodes, we just slowly and shortly talking about the gratitude. What are you grateful for? And if those of you who are new to writing gratitude, thinking about your grateful moments from the day, so this is something that you should be doing every single day, and you should be taking a moment of your day to write it down. So guys, I will be really sharing a lot of stories from how we were running our business, how we were running our bootcamp and boxing locations, how we really started when we were. And this formula is such a simple formula. But when we started in the very, very beginning, we really didn't know about the formula. But as when you think, as parents, we actually know this formula. But sometimes you know how you know something, but you didn't really put it in a formula. You know the steps of something, but you didn't come to such a clear conclusion of what it is. Maybe it's a statement of a word of 2 words that will outline something. And this is exactly what I'm going to give you today. So are you ready? I hope that you are ready with your pen and paper, taking some notes. And for those of you who are listening, maybe cooking, maybe driving, maybe even working out, make sure you're going to make that really intention to remember this and do it all the time. Either you're scaling your business or you teaching your kids, you're going to realize that this is wow, I knew this all along. So let me ask you a question. When you want to teach your kids something, where do you start? How do you do this? Do you jump in asking them immediately to do something for you? Or you do it yourself first? Then you do it and they watch. Then they do it, you watch, and they do it on their own. Do you get it? That's what it is. That's the formula, guys. So, but now I want to give you the example. So you actually, I think people remember more with stories, right? When we talk about somebody's story from life, you're going to remember it better. So that's why I want to dive into these examples that we've had, because I think it's such a transformation that we went through. And once this formula works for one thing, it can work for anything, really. So back in the day, when we first opened up our training centers, we were trainers, right? We were training people, training clients. And before we even started our mastermind or joined any kind of mastermind, we were just doing everything ourselves. We were the coaches, the trainers. We were on the floor, really creating schedules, doing marketing. We were pretty much hands-on. But then it came the moment that we wanted to grow our business. And we couldn't jump into the next level because we were doing everything by ourselves. And you can't really scale or do more if you don't delegate, right? So think about at home. If you don't delegate some chores, and I'm speaking to moms, what's happening? You ended up doing it all yourself, right? The delegation is such a crucial part. But how are you gonna delegate? How can you do it? And how can you teach someone so well so the person becomes a copy of you? So when this formula was presented to us, we were like, wow, this is so simple. Yet we didn't apply this. How did this happen? So let me tell you, how did this happen? It happened exactly like this. Because I develop my systems, we developed the core values. I don't want to say I because we were working together on the business. We developed the core values, the systems of operations, the way how we greet clients, we could spend hours and hours telling you exactly what we develop, but it's not the case. Imagine that you're starting your business or you already maybe established in a way that you make good money. You almost become overwhelmed a little bit and you feel like, I need the help. I need to start delegating. But how I'm going to do this, right? So you created the systems. You have everything kind of down. And now you want to hire someone. So before you hire that person, you kind of wanted to show them and find out if they're really good for the job. So obviously, when we would be at that moment that this person, we would know, okay, this person already will be a good fit, semi-fit from our first interviews, that they could be a good fit to be molded into the copy of us. That's what it was, because we already have systems. We knew it, that what we present, what we do, what our system is, it works because we had more and more clients coming to our doors. So you probably know that if you start being overwhelmed and it's too much for you, in the bank account is growing, that means that you are at that good stage, right? That it's like, wow, I am ready to delegate. I am ready to hire someone. I am ready to show them how it's done, right? So look, this is the second part. When you do it and that they watch. So let me give you an example exactly. We would do this with admin. We would do this with even team leader. We would do this with trainers. And because I was responsible for coaching the coaches, I would ask them to observe my sessions when I would do them, or to observe sessions of the coaches that have been already coaching with us for a long time, because they would sit down and take notes exactly of that session. So my question to you is, if you are already at that moment, maybe in your business, when you have the systems, you are ready to establish this, you want to scale, you want to hire someone, you have someone on the radar, this person you think it seems good, what are you going to be doing with them? You gonna show them how it's done. They're gonna be by you, sitting and observing you, taking notes. Literally, guys, if I tell you that the coaches were, the people, the possible coaches, the possible people that would work for us would take notes. I'm talking about really in-depth taking notes, seeing how it's done. And it's exactly the same what we do with our children, right? We wanted to teach them someone. Even in our home lifing ideas, when we do something, I sit down, I do it, and they watch me do it. And just a funny example, we're working on the Infinite Freak Fitness formula. If you've never heard about it, below is the link that you guys can get a completely free week of the Freak Fitness formula to find out on your own. Tyson actually was developing some systems, and he needs to sit down with me, show me how it's done, and I was watching him. How awesome is that? That my 12-year-old is showing me how it's done. The same with Ivanka. If she knows something that I don't know, she will actually sit down with me and I will observe her. So guys, this is a simple process. We got to get it, and we got to just always remember that if we already know ourselves how to do it, the person that wants to learn, they should observe you. So this is the next step, and you don't forget, this is step number 2. And the coaches would observe, group sessions, one-on-one training. Admin will observe how the system is being created, how we work on the system. What are simple step processes from the opening the gym to the closing the gym, right? Even with cleaning lady, we would show them the process. She would watch it step by step. We would show them how it's being done. So now, what is the next step? The next step, guys, is, so first was I do it, right? The second step is you do it, they watch it. Now, the first step is they do it, you watch it. So the potential people that will be hired by you, that will work for you, that are on the radar, that you know that they have a good potential, that they listen, they are ready to rock and roll with you, they will do it and you will watch it. So we would have these people that really accomplish the initial process, that really accomplish the initial screening process. They would go and be on the floor with the other trainer when they would start doing the warm-ups, and the trainer will watch them. Then eventually they would do the warm-ups and the whole workout, but the coach was still with them. And look, you might be thinking, okay, but this is a fitness industry. But think about it in any industry. You can apply this. And here is the thing, guys, that we've had, not always everything was pretty. Not always everything would fall into the right category. Not always the person that we would think that it will be a great possible hire ended up not being a good one, because through the process of actually observation, taking notes, we realized that they are not good. I will give you an example that I've had a person that came out to us, and let me tell you, I've had people applying for this job right and left. Everybody wanted to be a coach in Peak Physique because it was such a phenomenal place in New York. We were well known. People wanted to work for us. So we've had a lot of applications coming. I've had literally one time I remember there was this specific guy that showed up, and he had he would box. He showed me this trophies, golden gloves, and all this stuff. And he says, I'm ready to coach. But I told him, look, this is the process. You can't just jump into coaching. I cannot give you my clients if you don't go through the process. So I remember he was coming and he was supposed to train me. So I will experience his training. And I remember when I was showing to him and telling him, look, you got to show up and you got to take notes and observe the sessions, how other coaches train or how I train. He would say to me, I remember, I don't need to do this. I've done this, I've trained, I've win awards, and I don't need to do it. And that was a red sign for me, for someone that will never be a great fit. So maybe your intuition, or you start seeing some signs from a potential hire that you're going to feel like, you know what? I don't think this is a great fit. Because if this person has a strong ego, if this person tell you they know it all, they will be very hard for you to mold. They will give you problems. You will not end up having a good hire, and you will have to, as quickly as you've hired them, as quickly you will have to fire them. So we don't want to do this, right? Because it's a process. That's why it's a process. You can't hire someone very quickly. And the same thing, like think about teaching anything, like teaching your kids. You can't teach them immediately so quickly and expect them to know it all. It takes time. It's a process. So be patient. Be patient with the process yourself and require the patient from the potential hires, because that's right there. It's a red flag. And I tell you, we've had more we were doing it, more we became a kind of we would see the red flags coming, right? If you do something more, you have a practice, you have an experience, right? You seeing how people behave, how they act. If this is something that it's been repetitive behavior that we don't want maybe in our facility, there were the red flags. So the red flags will show in you. The red flags will be shown for you. So keep your eyes open. Don't really make it that it's all good, because we've done those too. That sometimes we say, oh, it's okay. This person will make it work. It's okay. Sometimes we were just too easy on people. So that's why I said that your core values, what you stand for, what is your promise, what do you want to deliver, what do you want them to deliver. You have to have this in place in order for you to know who you hire. Because if you don't know yourself, you can't teach them. The same with our kids. If I'm not prepared, if I don't know what I teach them, I will not teach them well. I need to have my process intact, exactly in steps, so I can teach them. The same with my Freak Female Alliance. I will never show up winging the session. My sessions are structured, they are prepared, so I can show up at my best self. And do I still make mistakes sometimes? Sure, everybody does. So you got to think like this, that the process that you have right now, it's not going to be the final process that you're going to have maybe a year or two from down the road, but you're already good enough to start. Because the problem is a lot of times that people want to make it perfect and they can never release anything. They're going to have all these cons against what something is not perfect, and they never start. So don't be that person. Do it. And as you go, you improve. You pay attention. You're being mindful. So what is the final one? I really already told you, right? What is the final one? They do it. So what they would do it, eventually we would allow them to have the freedom, to be independent, to do it on themselves, because after the process was done, I knew it, that they will follow the system, that they already know. And once they know, once this is all perfect for them, good enough, let's maybe not say perfect, but good enough, great performance. Like our coaches would coach the sessions. Would the coach from a session number 1 on their own to session number 50, would they improve? Absolutely. Because the more you do something, the more you get experience, right? Think about your workout. The first time you show up in the gym, you are not really sure what to expect. You try the machines, you look around the place, you kind of scoping, looking around, making sure where the machines are. So you just have the flow eventually. The same is with the coach. The same is with anything you do in life, right? Even me right now, a Freak Female Alliance class 003 is coming up. Guys, the more I do, already after 3 of my events, I already know how the flow goes. But am I improving of this flow? Absolutely. Because new people will be coming up. New adventures will be showing up. New presentations will be shown. New coaches might be showing up. And that's the beauty of it. The more I'm going to be doing it, the more I'm going to be improving on it. Like just recently, I've added an assessment. I've added an assessment to my Freak Female Alliance coaching. And this is a new thing. So be open for the feedback. Be open for what's coming to you. Be open that what's yesterday, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, month, 6 months, it's not going to be what's down the road. And that's the beauty of life, that we constantly improving, that we constantly evolving, that we constantly changing. It's like that muscle that you work on, right? If you would have seen my pictures from a year ago, maybe not a year ago, I would say maybe from 10 years ago or 15 years ago, it's a drastic change. What is the drastic change? My body is super toned right now because I've been lifting weights. I've been practicing. I've been showing up. I've been adding more weight. I've been mixing the workouts. I've been doing machines, free weights. I've been pushing tires, throwing sledgehammers, doing sled. All different tools created the beauty of the muscle. And that's what it is. When you run your own business right now, you gotta understand these simple processes, not be afraid, but try. So what your concentration should be today? Your concentration should be to write the systems of operations, your core values, right? What you stand for, how you want your operations to look like, what are you required? Even right now with our podcast, where how we run our podcast, what our team knows, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. We apply all these things that been done here, and then the team executes on them. So now you have a broad spectrum. You kind of know we apply this in our regular life. We apply this with our children. And I can give you another example, like Tyson or Ivanka. Tyson is at that stage when, in the beginning, he would see us observing the sessions, right? Then he jumped in. He was not necessarily coaching the sessions, but he would, in events, he would create a workout and he would do a workout. But now my son actually, if you are on our Infinite Freak Fitness formula, you received emails from Tyson. He creates these workouts. But why? Because we did it. We showed them. He observed. He was doing it. We were observing him. And we were giving him the feedback when he was teaching other kids and showing up in these Saturday workouts. When kids would show up and he would teach them, we would always sit down with him and give him feedback. And now he can do it on his own. And this is such a simple process, guys, but yet forgotten sometimes. We forget that this knowledge, this wisdom is available to us. So I hope this episode gave you some insights. And please comment, share, like below, share with your loved ones. And remember that making a comment, suggesting me something, makes a difference, not only for me, for others. So guys, thank you. And remember that the superhero is within you. You just need to rediscover it. Guys, thank you again for watching and listening. I will talk to you soon. No excuses.